Hello. In this presentation I would like to give you a more dynamic present a more dynamic version of the IPP. IPP is the abbreviation of Integrated Psychology Paradigm and was presented by me in the book Self-Expansion approximately 3-4 years ago. The main idea of the IPP is that self, and I define self as everything what a person knows, and the memories or the cognitive schemata that a person has. The self size is not constant. It can increase, and in this case we are talking about self-expansion, or it can decrease, and in that case we are talking about self-narrowing. This is the very basic for the main idea of the IPP, and what is the main finding is a pattern that is connected to different aspects of life, like problem solving and sexuality, religion and everything, and this can be seen in such kind of pattern, or can be found, where on this axis you can find the self size, and on this axis the progress in the process or the time. So the self during, for example, problem solving is decreasing, generating negative emotions, and when at a deadlock, at a certain point, a solution is found, then the self size increases on much higher level than it was originally at the beginning of the process, and this increase in the self size can continue by sharing the new schemata born here. This is very brief. You can find many videos about this on my YouTube channel on psi2.org. I don't want to go even in more details. What is a novelty, and I found it out very recently, is the boundaries of the self. If we I don't know whether you were thinking about or not about the self's boundaries, but at least myself, when I try to visualize the self, I always like here also, I always presented it without dotted lines, so with a normal solid lines, and I imagined as a compact entity that surrounds the self, and when it was increasing, yes, I had some intuitions that the wall of the self is becoming thicker or thinner, depending on the size, like a balloon, so it stretches. I would like to go further, and I would say that the boundary of the self, as we are as all the living systems, living complex systems, cannot be a solid line. It is always imperfect. It should be visualized much better with dotted lines, because also the cells and even a wall has small holes in it. Air or different radiations, photons can go through, or in case of cells we know that there is absorption and there is a communication with the environment. So all living creatures and also the persons have a self that is boundaries are imperfect, are not solid. Why is this interesting? Because if we try to visualize, and now I'm talking very imaginatory about this whole process. Maybe later on we can go into details, but for as a first intuition or a first trial, let's try to agree to accept this visual language. Here inside the self, we found the cognitive schemas as the subsystems of the self, and these are connected. And as from previous videos, you might all know that depending on the structure, how these cognitive schemas are connected and what cognitive schemas we have, different inputs are transformed in different outputs, and this is what we are calling behavior, movements, speaking. This is all outputs, listening, watching TV are all inputs. But what happens when the boundary of this whole system is opened, and environment can enter in our internal system, and our internal system or subsystems can exit from our boundaries, or from within our boundaries. How should I say it? And that's what I'm calling communication. This part, and this part is what is aggression. You might see that if a new cognitive schema is created within the system, like here I presented, then this new cognitive schema has to be shared with other members of our group, and this is parallel with the process that here we had a self size like that, here a very small self, and here a big one. And it's obvious that if you have a big self, bad habits, I have to show it like that, but then the holes that are opened are big enough to let copies of this new cognitive schema exit, and if somebody else, other member of the group, is also in a self-expanded state, so has its boundaries full with or opened, full with holes, then this schema can enter and become a part of this other member's cognitive schema system. Of course, in that case, if relevant and working connections has been built with this new cognitive schema. Communication and aggression are the two sides of the same coin. If this person one would like to hurt verbally, for example, person number two, then says a bad information or negative information to the person number two, and with loud speaking loudly, or with other methods of getting through this wall what protects person number two, this information enters within the schemata of number two, and now comes a problem solving situation, like here, that and this can be okay. Now I can maybe reuse this recycle this circle. let's imagine that originally we had a self rather harmonic with schemata connecting harmonically. This is defined in different other videos, and now enters a schema. So here we have this nice, let's see, say pink schemas, and enters a black one, an ugly black one that was injected by an aggressor with loud speaking or with strong signals, and immediately this beautiful harmonic self becomes small because this black one is contradicting to this. We shouldn't say pink, this should be white. This beautiful white schemas, because aggression is contradictory information to that we already have. So as this black one requires a serious space, because we cannot reject it, person 2 cannot reject it just by neglecting, has to build a new wall around it. So the self becomes smaller. So this part is smaller because was narrowed, and this is the process where the self narrowing has started. If by taking into smaller parts this information piece, distracting it and connecting it to originally existing white schemas, then we can integrate it again into a harmonic circle, and this new and negative information that was negative from the original point of view, so from that point of view before the black one has arrived, it creates an even bigger self, because now the restructured, most probably, and with some changes within this part also, but a new harmonic setup has been created. And if this wasn't just an aggression but also problem solving, all the aggressions are also problems to be solved, then we have faced this process when a new structure has been built, and again harmony within the person or within the self has been created. Another aspect of what happens when our self is increasing. We are just, you can watch on yourself or realize on yourself that when you are relaxed, when you are happy, you are typically more open to information. When you are stressed or anxious, then these gates, so the distance here, the D distance, becomes much smaller. D2, let's say this is D1. D1 is much bigger than D2 because this wall also protects the internal system or internal connections of the person, and rejects those information that are not in line with what happens inside. So if you have, that's why people, when would like to chat with their friends, they try to find a relaxed location or a relaxed situation. In most cases, they try to find an environment that is not disturbing, because by opening these holes or these gates, also other disturbing information like loud music or unpolite people can throw in information, and this will distract the chatting process. So they are somehow two friends. When they are chatting, they are opening all the gates, but with physical separation they are protecting themselves from other parts of the environment. It's the same case with sexuality. All other that's why we are seeking for intimacy in case of sexuality, because other information can disturb the process. What about working? Because as we saw here, communication is when cognitive schemas can go out through these holes and can be used by other people. While working, we are solving problems. Both the physical worker is solving a kind of physical problem. A doctor is when setting a diagnosis is solving a problem, and at the end of all the jobs is communication. So at the end of all the work procedures, some kind of output has been created, and this output is communicated. In case of jobs, or when you are working, a normal person is working, we are not talking about specially self-expanded or specially self-narrowed state. Why is that possible? Because normal size self is creating a sub-system of it, where information flow in and outputs are generated, and only a small gate or only specified gates are opened for this procedure, for the inputs and for the outputs, and the other parts of the self normally are protected and are more or less closed, or at least not affected. That's why people are trying to avoid mixing private life with work life, because they just share the self in two parts. They are splitting in two parts. One is the working part, that is processing inputs into outputs, and the other is parallelly either doing something or just on a slower pace, relaxing. Yes, more or less that's the dynamics what I wanted to show. More visual, as mentioned earlier, you can compare to the balloons. Such balloons that their wall are full with walls, full with holes. That's not maybe a biggest visual picture, but as in cases of cells, they can be seen also as balloons, but with such small holes on it that some material stays within this cell, other smaller molecules can exit through this hole of the walls, and maybe that's a good picture to imagine. Thank you for attention, and I hope that it was understandable. Yes, we didn't touch the topic of the internal pressure, what is a new aspect of the dynamics of the self, but maybe on the next video. Thank you.